fucking the child, apparently.
I'm here. Hey, I brought a friend.
A skull. Okay, this is.
Yeah.
Hey.
He doesn't have a name right now.
Oh, he doesn't have a name?
Yeah.
Have you thought of one?
I was gonna draw an anarchy sign on the back of it, but so maybe.
You could call it awkward silence in honor of what just happened. That would be perfect. All right. You guys want to just get this show on the road? We got a lot
let's
of
do
ground
it.
to cover. Welcome back to the second episode of the Stone Gauntlet, everybody. I am your host, Crook Irish. You may know me from things such as Crook Irish's channel on Twitch. And I am joined today by my co-host, Max.
Yes, hello. I'm joined by an old friend of mine. He was a Jedi at one point. He is no longer a Jedi. Anyways, it's hard to tell. I killed so many.
Anyway, you're on the wrong episode, Max. Dark Side is in 2 weeks, bro.
Dark Side adheres to no man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm Max. I've been on the last couple of weeks. We've done some music, some geek stuff. I'm just gonna say that I love Star Wars, but I like Star Trek and Dune more. So there. So ha ha.
And my other co-host today is Spidey Dude. Spider Dude. You want to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Spidey Dude, and today we're also joined by Grogu. Mando left him off for me to take care of him, so I have to watch him for a while.
Both my daughters have one of those. I have some pictures of me with them. Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool.
The only child thing I have is child. And you know what? He was a blast to fucking build, honestly.
It's a good build.
Yeah, that was a great build. That and Yoda. We're not sponsored by Lego, people. So I want to make that very clear.
Well,
not affiliated.
If Lego wants to sponsor us and send us some free Legos, that's a different story.
I'll tell you what, Lego, we will throw your name out in every one of our upcoming podcasts if you send us one set a month worth $500.
Yeah, the big sets, please.
The big sets. I'll just take the what's that? The recently released $500 Millennium Falcon. That's all I want.
$900.
$900. So you know what? They can send me one, and we'll cover them for 2.
I just built the new DeLorean. Just saying.
We'll have to at some point do a video over our whole house. But today we are going to be talking about lightsabers. We researched lightsabers. Originally, it was supposed to be a one-off episode. But the more I dug into them, the more interesting bullshit I found. And I'm like, I can't make this a 1-part episode. I have to make it a 2-part episode. And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, I can't make this a 2-part episode. It has to be a 3. So we're going to talk so much about goddamn lightsabers that by the end of this, you will probably be sick and tired of them. And my goal is for you to approach Disney and tell them to stop fucking telling us stories about space wizards named Skywalker. And maybe give us some of the other bullshit, really good shit that they've been putting out. And I'm talking Solo, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett.
What about desert wizards named Jesus? Sorry.
So we're gonna. So the 3-parter is gonna be this. The first part is gonna be focused on light side lightsabers, including a famous one whose trajectory manages to touch the prominent hands of pretty much everybody in every single trilogy. We're also going to be talking about where some of the other famous lightsabers ended up, as well as Yoda's, Mace Windu's, stuff like that. both in and out of canon, and finally we will wrap it up with a talk about outside of canon lightsabers. And when we get to that, you'll see what I mean by that. But first, let's dig into what is Star Wars. Star Wars was originally conceived in 1971 by George Lucas. He was this guy who grew up in Modesto, California, which has been basically compared to his Tatooine. Growing up, he loved watching those space operas and shit like Flash Gordon, or Buck Rogers and whatnot. But when he came onto the scene with American Graffiti, uh, he wanted to take his next film because he like, hey, look what I did. You know, American Graffiti was a fantastic film. He's like, now I want to make a space opera that is not dark because
Can I just jump in real quick?
Oh yeah.
Modesto is exactly like Tatooine. It's scary. it's a hellhole.
He basically based Tatooine entire like off his childhood. But
yeah, it's nothing but cows. It literally smells like manure.
He shopped it around. He wanted to create a space opera for kids because the movies dominating that time were like too dark and moody. We're talking like Blade Runner, and like the other shit like that. And so he wanted to put one out that's like, hey, this is sci-fi that's approachable for all ages. So he brought it to like Universal, and they're like, nope. United Artists was like, nope. 20th Century Fox, though, encouraged by American Graffiti, which had landed him in the Academy Awards, decided to take a bet on him. He shot for a budget of 18 million. Fox only gave him 7.5 million. But with that, though, he managed to create a film that has transcended generations to still be very viable to this day. And I am, of course, talking about A New Hope. The movie came out at over budget at about 11 million, but managed to gross 513 million worldwide. Okay, that's A New Hope. Let's talk about who owns it. Does anybody have anything to say on this?
At some point, I think we should just mention a very influential guy, a really great guy, named Irv Kershner, who worked on Empire Strikes Back. But we'll get to him later. But I just wanted to just mention him in this because he did have a lot to do with making those films very, very good.
Yeah, no, he did, and that's because Lucas had an idea, right? Like he had created a script that got wrote and rewrote and rewrote. Originally, Luke was like a fucking old grizzled general, and like fucking Han was a frogman. But by the end, Han became who he was. Luke was some like fucking farm boy in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
A nothing, which is a pivotal thing in the films for that 4, 5, and 6, mind you.
But that's the Western. He's following the Western theme. It's a space Western, right? Like yeah. And then he also rips off Kurosawa. What's his name? Akira Kurosawa. Yeah.
What I think happened was like essentially he created A New Hope, struck fucking gold, and was like, I don't want to fuck this up, and that's when he brought in Irv, you know,
Oh yeah,
to make
absolutely.
Empire Strikes Back, which is arguably one of the best Star Wars films of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, who owns it? Okay. So, because Fox took a chance on A New Hope, him and Lucas created it together. That means the rights to A New Hope are split between Fox and Lucas in perpetuity. Which makes making a Blu-ray or box set of all fucking Skywalker films very difficult for Disney. Nice. But after A New Hope, uh, Fox just became a distributor. Lucasfilm actually became its own company and ran that through the prequels till Disney bought it. And Disney couldn't have the rights for Star Wars, the original rights, until 2020. which I think Max has a theory on why, like on what transpired because
All right, so sorry, repeat that again. I remember this theory, but repeat it again.
it's the one with like the Disney Plus.
Oh, right. My theory is they actually didn't launch Disney Plus until they could stream. They had the rights to stream the entire original trilogy, because Disney Plus was in the works for a long, long time, and my theory is that they purposefully didn't launch it until they could stream not just the Star Wars stuff, but other stuff. When they created the Marvel, they created the Star Wars Legends, right? And then they have the Marvel Legends too, which is basically the X-Men films. So my theory is they didn't want to launch. They had purchased LucasArts, I believe, for something like $40 billion, which George Lucas gave, I think, the vast majority to charity, because he gave up the reins on like all of it.
So they didn't want to launch Disney Plus because
Yeah, because they wanted to be able to stream like the entirety of Star Wars, because there's they have the sections on there, and I think they wanted to have that section be a complete section. And my other theory is that they wanted the same thing for Marvel, but it wasn't going to happen in time, so they just launched with the complete Star Wars stuff.
well, yeah, because if you had the Star Wars, I mean, you're good.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
but if
they
you
had
launch with 7, 8, and 9,
yeah
like nobody gives a shit about 7, 8, and 9. Like
yeah.
it has its fans, sure, and they're decent films.
Okay. There are decent parts of those films. Unfortunately they're like
Well,
haphazardly written and poorly cast.
all right. Well, either okay. We got to move on.
Yeah.
Because Max and I can literally talk about this subject for the next 3 hours.
Yes, we can.
So we're gonna move on to what lightsabers are. Their first appearance. Whoa, ladies, it's
Oh my
on.
gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Smog has invaded the podcast, so hide all your ammo. This is our resident doomsday prepper. Smog, how's the Lonely Mountain treating you?
Lonely. Of course, it's fucking lonely. It's always lonely.
That's what happens when all you do all day is terrorize dwarves, Smog. So I
Really?
don't know what else you expected.
You think you could make a friend by terrorizing some people, okay? It just happens that way, okay?
I literally don't think anybody's ever thought that in the history of ever.
I don't know. Dwarves are susceptible to gold fever, so you know what? I don't blame you.
So you saying like you know what? I will say dragons are a part of the natural economy or like ecology because they have to take out the dwarves. Otherwise, the dwarves are just going to take all the gold.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody finally sides with me.
Smog,
Doing a
Smog,
whole bunch.
Smog, hear me out. You got a pile of gold, $100 a day. I will be on retainer as your lawyer. But we're talking about lightsabers. So
We'll get some of that gold into Bitcoin too.
That's why I came in. Okay? First off, you're completely forgetting the whole aspect that is the best part of Star Wars.
what's that?
Spaceballs. Plain and simple.
Well, that's fantastic, Smog. But this isn't a Spaceballs podcast. So,
And thing is, it is a part of Star Wars because at the diner scene, you see the Millennial Falcon. Come on.
you're saying that at the diner scene we see the Millennium Falcon in Spaceballs. Well, okay. You know what? Sit down, Smog. Enjoy the ride. We got to continue on with the itinerary. And I guess welcome to the fucking stream. Lightsabers. The first appearance was originally conceived as a mundane plasma weapon, about as like lame as a blaster. But the introduction of the Force in the fucking script actually changed it to a weapon to be wielded by the Jedi and Sith to create the lightsaber we know today. Its first appearance was in A New Hope. Obi-Wan describes it as an elegant weapon for a more civilized age. It's typically about 3 feet in length. It's an energy blade of plasma. It can cut, burn, or melt any substance. Leaves wounds cauterized. Can deflect blaster bolts. Electro staffs and plasma-lined blades can deflect lightsabers. However, um, created. Oh, and this I found was interesting. It is actually created as a reference to the sword that Flash Gordon used to defeat Ming the Merciless.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and the episode I guess where he defeats Ming the Merciless, uh, the sword that he used to defeat him is what lightsabers are based off.
I didn't know that.
If you want to know how fucking the sounds of the lightsabers are made, oh, and Smog, OGT Nasty loves the chair.
Oh yeah.
The resting lightsaber sound is created using the humming of a projector motor. The guy that was working sound effects used to work in theaters. So he remembered how that like sounded, so he recreated that for it. And the crackle and pop of a lightsaber was he was walking past a TV with an uncovered mic one day, and he heard like the like that lightsabers make when they clash. And so he's like, if I connect this with the humming of the fucking lightsaber, then you got the lightsaber full sound. You know, it's like like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some pretty good folly.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of dope. When I come across that, I was like, oh, this has got to go in.
I love old school folly noises like that, like people hitting heads of lettuce with baseball bats and shit. Now you've got digital stuff. I'd rather hear something crazy like that.
Apparently,
And Max, the throne or Mel Brooks is definitely pretty badass.
He's
Just
my
saying.
he's my favorite filmmaker. I'll tell you guys a great story about him another time.
all right.
Good question.
I'll tell you all this. I love Mel Brooks and I love Spaceballs. So at the end, we'll put in a little section. We'll talk a bit about Spaceballs. Is that
Mel
good
Brooks,
for everybody?
Mel Brooks got me into computer security. Okay, I'll tell you about it later.
I do fucking love Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
So the unique forms of
Already had a question, by the way.
oh shoot.
Are these like lightsaber things? Are they loud enough to block out a podcast from the Daily Bugle?
Are they loud enough to block out a podcast from the Daily Bugle? You know what?
Yeah, if you cut the wires.
Actually, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. You know what I'm talking about, Spidey? I'll get you some fucking ionic grenade. All right, it won't kill anybody, but it'll knock out all the shit in the fucking studio. I got you.
It'll take out shields too. Don't worry.
It'll take out shields too. So
Yeah.
if J. Jonah douche has upgraded to having shields, it'll take those out.
Man, that guy and his fucking mustache.
Do you want me to do a flyby the Daily Bugle by any chance?
I mean, technically, Spider Dude, you'd be asking Smog to burn it to the ground. That's what he's asking you.
If everybody's out of the building.
Everybody's out of the building. All right, that's the
Good
Spider-Man
one.
I know. Jesus Christ, guys, we're talking about fucking lightsabers here. The lightsaber.
Well, can we ask Lego? Can we ask Lego for that huge Daily Bugle set? It's like $400. Lego, please give it to us.
Lego,
Yes, I would love that. Please,
Me
Lego.
too.
if you
Yeah.
give
So we
us
can smash it?
if you give us a Daily Bugle set and the Millennium Falcon, the $1,000 one, we will pimp out your product for the next 4 months,
Yeah,
3 months.
I spent $3,000 on you guys in the last like 3 months. So
Yeah,
come on,
it's time to give
let's
it a
do
little
this.
back. Anyway, the unique forms that lightsabers have come in. Oh, we have the lightsaber pike. It's a longer handle, shorter blade. The Tonfa type lightsaber is a right angle hilt. They have a short and adjustable that's called the dual phase blade sizes. Yoda actually carries one of those.
Wait,
Um,
wait. Yoda carries a curved one?
no, Yoda carries a dual phase blade
Dual
size.
face. Yes.
It
Okay.
allows him to adjust the length of the blade.
Ah, like
Double,
like an electric guitar.
yeah, that's why it keeps it a bit shorter than the others.
That's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, try strumming that with the fingers. See what happens.
technically, his blade is a dual phase Shoto blade, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh,
Ezra Bridges from Star Wars Rebels has a lightsaber blaster hybrid of a blade. The Inquisitors of the Galactic Republic carried a double-bladed lightsaber mounted on a rotating ring, allowing for 360 movement. They have a light whip, a light club, and a shoto. A shoto is a smaller lightsaber, usually paired with a bigger one. It is most famous because due to Ahsoka Tano. She carries one alongside her fucking lightsaber.
like a samurai.
A samurai, yeah.
Yeah.
That's her double bladed. His one's a bit shorter. That's a shoto
Ah,
blade.
it's like a katana and a shoto blade.
Yeah. She's like Ahsoka Tano is the beast with the sugar and yeast.
Yeah.
She's like one of my favorite fucking characters in Star Wars, alongside Cad Bane, and pretty much everything about the goddamn Clone Wars cartoons, which is 10
Was
times
it,
better than the
I
fucking
was gonna say
prequels.
Ezra, what's his name, was pretty badass.
Oh, I need to get to Rebels.
Yeah. Anyways.
But anyway. Okay. So, some of the famous lightsaber fights we have Luke and Vader, Obi-Wan, Maul, Palpatine and Yoda, Dooku and Yoda. And all these spanned multiple fucking trilogies. I didn't really talk much about the fucking last one because Kylo Ren's kind of a bitch. But what I
Hey,
managed,
hey.
what?
Hey, you forgot a famous one.
What's
Just
that?
saying.
Obi-Wan
Dark
and
Helmet. No,
Obi-Wan
no.
and Vader.
Dark Helmet, and Lone Star.
That is a famous one. No, look, I'm not okay. I'm not gonna give away next episode too much, but some of the colors I found in the fucking lightsabers, green means good, and like orange and red means bad. Lone Star's carrying an orange blade, and Dark Helmet is carrying a green blade.
What happens if an alien pops out of my stomach in a diner and then does a dance on the counter? What does that mean?
You'll probably get your money back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it means.
So one thing we found interesting while researching this was there is one lightsaber that manages to touch the prominent hands of everybody in every trilogy. Well, not everybody, but some of the most prominent figures. And I am talking, of course, about Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber,
Which one?
his second one. That's
Thank
right,
you.
guys. I don't mean his first one because he didn't have one in a fucking film. He did have one up to the Battle of Geonosis where it was sheared in half.
Wasn't it can I if we remember the scene, it's the part where he's in the factory with what's her face, right?
Yeah, with Padme when they're like
With
going through
Padme.
the conveyor belts.
And it gets stamped, like his hand is in the thing and gets stamped and it breaks his lightsaber, but his hand is okay. And then he loses his hand. It's like a I don't know, callback.
Yeah, it's like yeah, he gets fucked up. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see a theme with the hand thing.
the
The
what?
whole Skywalker hand thing.
Yeah, I know,
Skywalkers
yeah.
can only have one hand.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
true.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they're known
Well,
for.
like, we thought he was going to lose his hand in that scene, but then he comes out and he's just got half a lightsaber and a whole hand, and
Well, I
then he
mean,
loses his hand.
I'm expecting Rey to lose the hand since she took on the name of Skywalker. Some fucking
Yeah.
reason.
If they ever decide to make a good movie about it.
I don't, dude. Honestly, if I was Rey and they're like, "You're Skywalker now," I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself." It seems like the Skywalkers keep getting dragged into the galactic bullshit, no matter what generation you are. So I'd be like, no, I'm not a Skywalker. I'm a Peterson. Bye.
It's like
I would help her lose that hand.
yeah.
Wait, what'd you say, Pete?
I said I would help her lose that hand.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
Jesus Christ, Smog. Anyway,
I think I feel like I want Disney to go back to the space western and stop with all the epic bullshit.
yeah, that's why the Mandalorian is.
And why Solo was extremely underrated.
Solo was the first fucking film to prove you don't need lightsabers in Star Wars.
Exactly. And actually, Rogue One was awesome.
What? Smog, you're
I
breaking up, buddy.
didn't say nothing about Firefly.
Okay. Anyway, oh, and Firefly is great too. But okay, so Anakin created a new lightsaber after the Battle of Geonosis. The Jedi and Sith he has defeated with counts in Count Dooku, who was a Sith. Dirge, this is in the Legends. He was chief commander of Count Dooku. The Sun, who's the embodiment of the dark side. Shakti in the Jedi Temple. Sinjura Lig in the Jedi Temple Chief of Security. Y Mauru, another Jedi, and various side characters like Tal Merrick, Admiral Chench, Trong, etc. An entire Tusken Raider tribe, and everybody's favorite Anakin's birthday party, with all the little Jedi younglings.
Oh
Cover
my
your ears,
god!
Grogu. Cover your ears.
Did you just call that Anakin's birthday party?
Yeah, I mean, when he just flips his shit and decides to murder a bunch of kids, yeah. You know, we're
Oh,
like,
listen,
So the
Grogu.
kids turned into pinatas then.
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
it
They
is-
did.
it is kind of fucking weird that it's like, that George Lucas started this vision with, I want to make a space opera to like fucking, accessible to kids, and actually ends it on his final movie killing a bunch of kids. Yeah, I mean,
We have a child in the room here.
Yeah, hey,
is that
you're gonna
smart?
you're,
Because
you're gonna scare the poor boy.
I know both you, and you both are definitely not children.
I'm
I'm talking about Grogu
Grogu,
here.
dumbass.
Oh,
Oh
Grogu.
yeah, Groku's in
You're
there.
gonna scare poor Grogu.
Groku, if you ever hear Anakin, just run away.
Hey, in the
Prominent-
timeline, Grogu's alive when that happens, right?
No.
No,
We'll do an
he's
episode.
150 years old.
We'll do an episode on Groku.
Okay.
Prominent opponents. Obi-Wan Kenobi. These are the people that Anakin has battled but did not defeat. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Cad Bane, who is one of the greatest bounty hunters in the fucking galaxy. Aura Singh, another fantastic bounty hunter. Asajj Ventress, a Sith Lord. Savage Opress, a Sith Lord. And Barriss Offee, a Jedi turned Sith Lord. And who lost the lightsaber? Anakin lost his 3 times actually. I mean, this is his second lightsaber. He ends up losing it 3 times. Once to Count Dooku, who lost it to the pirate gang run by Hondo Ohnaka. He ended up getting that back. The second time was while attempting to rescue Palpatine. It was retrieved by one of General Grievous's Magna Guards and briefly wielded by General Grievous himself until Obi-Wan force tricked him out of it and then gave it back to Skywalker. And then he lost it to Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan had this incredible force power called the High Ground, and ended up beating
High
Anakin
ground.
because nothing beats that force power.
The force power just having the higher ground.
Yeah, it's just you got to be at least 3 feet up. You got the high ground. At that point, nothing can defeat you, according to Star Wars lore. And then
Battle technicians.
he lost that on Mustafar. It fell into the hands of Obi-Wan, who carried it for the next 19 years. Uncle Owen, he tried to actually give it to Luke a little bit earlier, but Uncle Owen stopped him and was like, I don't want Luke running off on some damn fool idealistic crusade. Um, but when he gives when he gives Luke the lightsaber, literally 10 minutes later, Luke runs off on a damn fool idealistic say. So
He pointed
It's
at
true.
his eyeball also.
yeah, he like okay
Yeah, he did.
that's not in the film, but it's a production still of Mark Hamill looking down the fucking hilt of a lightsaber. And he says it still shudders, like he still shudders to this day just looking at it. But yeah, essentially Luke looked down the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy, and then immediately decided he was the only one who could save it. So,
Yeah,
let's go
like
over.
looking down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
So this is the important part, right, guys? We talked about how experienced Vader is, right? Let's go over Luke Skywalker's experience. He confronted Vader on Moon 1, got his ass beat. Vader recognized the lightsaber. Lightsaber stolen by the game master. R2 actually retrieved that. Stalled the C3PO like droid after crashing his dad's TIE fighter. Fought a sea creature with it and nearly died like an idiot.
So are we say, can I? So Luke's Jedi training, can I just say, was shit. He just was not very good at much.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Oh, I got the numbers here.
And maybe that might have contributed to the fact that his school ended up just like his dad's birthday party.
Great.
Yeah.
Addition.
So the Jedi and Sith or slash anything that Luke has defeated is a Chokol G, who is a Force user, and a Sand Slug. So that's his prominent defeats. His prominent opponents, though, he has squared off against Boba Fett, fought off Tusken Raiders, attacking Obi-Wan's home, and fought Jedi. Now, he fought. What?
Do we say he won the fight against Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah, but this is before that time. This is while carrying Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah. Okay.
Between 5 and 6, Luke actually becomes competent.
Yeah, that's true.
But okay, I'm gonna paint the scene for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Luke essentially flies to Dagobah and is like, "Hey, I need some Jedi training." Under the tutelage of one of the greatest Jedi masters that has ever lived, a dude with like over 800 years of Jedi experience, Luke could have walked away from that being fucking uber powerful. But essentially, the what?
But here's the thing: Yoda was old. He probably wanted to take more naps than training, and was sitting there just saying, "Hey, I'm, why should I train this guy? I'm gonna outlive him."
He does make him carry him on his back. Like he's obviously just that this is he's done. This is his last job.
It's still forced training.
Super lazy.
That's the thing. It's like Luke needed this, but here's what happened. While hanging out on the what?
Luke became Yoda's Uber, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yoda basically wanted McDonald's and told Luke to carry him over.
Guys, if you're gonna start fucking Jedi training, the very first thing he's not gonna teach you how to do is how to rip starships out of the sky using Force lightning. The only thing he's gonna teach you how to lift some rocks. You know?
And do flips while holding him on a backpack.
Here's the problem with Luke. Though that was conditioning Luke to learn the skills better. The problem with Luke is someone did the math of this, and using the travel time between Dagobah, Bespin, and Yavin, based off the travel speed of the fucking X fighter or the X-wing, means Luke was theoretically only on Dagobah for between 7 to 21 days.
Yeah, that seems right.
It doesn't.
I can't tell, but my eyes are whiting right now.
But if you
I'm
want
going
something
common
else,
numbers.
if you want a more official answer, Pablo Hidalgo, the creative or executive member of the Lucasfilm Story Group, said he only trained for a couple weeks. The problem with Luke isn't that he fucking uh didn't learn any skills. It's that he learned how to lift rocks and went, I can go take on a fucking Jedi who has 13 years as a general goddamn fucking in the Clone Wars and another 22 years as a walking death tank for the Empire. Luke was so far outmatched, it's like a Cub Scout challenging Les Strad to a camping like fucking contest. Luke,
I just want to make a valid point.
yeah,
Luke didn't make Grogu carry him on his back. Just
Yeah.
saying.
He carried Grogu.
yeah. Well, that's how that works. That would be really weird.
I guess he was really used to just carrying members of that species.
So, Luke flies halfway across the galaxy. Universe's most obvious trap confronts Vader, and Vader's like, dude, get a job. And Luke's like, I already have a job. It's called saving the universe,
You're
Dad.
not my dad.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
wait, you
not
are my dad.
He's like, you're not my dad. And he's like, actually, dude, I am. And so, and so fucking Luke is like, well, fuck you, Dad, and loses his family heirloom into the clouds of Bespin. And that's where Anakin
With his
Skywalker.
hand. Of
The
course.
what?
With his hand, of course.
Yeah,
With
with
his hand.
yeah, attached to his hand.
Don't forget the hand.
This is where Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber takes two different tracks actually.
Yeah.
His he attempted to retrieve it in the actual canon. That's he journeyed to the smelting chamber of Cloud City, scribed the lightsaber to the Ugnaughts there, and they reached out with the Force, found a bunch of visions relating to his sister being in trouble, and then just bounced. Uh, Shortly afterwards, though, an Ugnaught found it and, using the power of Disney, magically transported it to Maz Kanata's castle. And that's all we know of how, like, we searched, dude. Me and Max both looked through that.
It's not even in the comics. So when Disney bought the LucasArts and all their intellectual property, i.e. Star Wars, they released like a bunch of like decent comic books through Marvel, which was their other huge purchase and subsidiary at the same time, and to link the new trilogy and the movies together, with like a lot of characters that were in the movies that weren't in the movies that were cut from the movies, but they do not there's a lot of these comic books too, and they're still being published. There is no explanation of how it ended up with Maz Kanata, but that says to me that they're going to reveal that at some point in the near future.
I feel like at some point we'll get to know that, and
Yeah.
just because like time is of the essence, I'm going to skip where it ends up in Legends. There might be a time down the line
We'll talk about it later.
when we talk about outside of canon Star Wars, but I can tell you this right now, it's kind of like talking about aliens without giving a backstory. Because the minute I start dropping names like the Yuzan Vong and fucking Ben Solo or Ben Skywalker, I'm gonna lose everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know, like we could do a whole episode on Dark Empire, a whole trilogy on Dark Empire. So.
Yeah, or even like Han Solo's cut backstory. Fantastic.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Moving on, it ended up in Maz Kanata's castle, where Rey rejected it and Finn picked it up. Kylo wanted it because of Vader. He assumed it's his destiny. And when they met on Starkiller Base, and they both reached for the lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, Ben thought it was going to fly into his hand because he was lineage of the dark side. Or he had lineage of Vader.
like and the family. Yeah.
but it flew past him into Rey, and the reason behind that is something to do with actually the colors of the lightsaber, as well as like how the Sith and the Jedi like attune themselves to it. So we'll get into that a bit more on the next episode. It's kind of really exciting stuff. But it flew to Rey because it recognized her as more of a light side source. And Anakin's blade, though used as evil, was still very much on the light side. Um, with with the blade, they managed to defeat FN2199, which I fucking hate because it's actually TR8R Traitor, which I think the fan public has nicknamed him that, and I stick with that myself. You know,
Wand chooses the wizard, Harry.
Juan chooses the wizard.
Wait, so rewind back.
Yeah.
So what's her face? PN1 the
FN2199.
Yeah, FN2199 has a different name.
Yeah, well, you remember when Finn had the lightsaber and the guy popped up and he was like, "Traitor!" Well,
Yeah.
the fucking fandom nicknamed him TR8R. But
Okay.
Disney nicknamed him FN2199 because Disney doesn't seem to be in touch with what fucking Star Wars fans really inside the films.
Why did they?
They're outside.
But
what?
It makes more. Okay, just hear me out on this one. It makes more sense that someone from his squad would call him a traitor, so he would be an FN, like that would be his designation.
Yeah, well, of course that'd be his designation. Of course it would be like fucking, Darth Vader or whatever the fuck. Yeah, and that is the most obvious answer. But that's not feeding to the fan base. If the fan base nicknamed him TR8R and you refused to even give him a name in the film, you probably could have played with that. Which is like shit that they've done in the past. But Disney doesn't incorporate fan ideas, And that's my debate about it. Like, I understand where you're coming from, Max. I think, like, the F12199 clearly makes him more, ingrained with lore, but at the same time, what it does is it makes him much more background character.
I thought it made it more personal with Finn, because we get Finn's name from the FN designation. So, like, his squadron, the FN, it would make sense that one of his former squaddies would be like calling him a traitor. But Disney's not Disney. Okay, Disney. It's not that they don't listen to the fans. It's that they listen to the fans a little bit and then screw it all up.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like it's a franchise.
You can't please everybody.
It's not like it's a franchise not known for hiding shit. Like Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper in the first one, and half the people didn't even know because he wasn't even in the fucking cast.
Yeah.
But like you could give back to the fan in little ways, like maybe name him FN like TR8R, and we're gonna have to like edit this entire section out because it does not at all bode with lightsabers. So you know what? Let's move on.
Okay.
Rey has defeated Snoke and Ren's TIE Fighter with the lightsaber. The prominent opponents were Kylo Ren and herself. Who lost it? No one. Rey and Ren actually ripped it apart in a bid for it using the Force on the in the third film. Or no, in the second film. But Rey repaired
second film.
The what?
Second film. You're right.
Yeah. But Rey repaired the lightsaber using leather straps and Force healing techniques to bend the crystal inside. Mike, Spidey, Smog, you guys got anything to say? No, we've been hijacking this.
No,
I'm good. I'm waiting for my turn. I get to tell you all about the great part of fan theory.
All right.
Spaceballs.
Space
Better than this point.
although I did have like a thing. Would a epic battle be like if I painted Wolverine's claws like neon green, and then get like a ninja sword and paint it blue or something? Would that be called as that big lightsaber battle?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do
What?
too. Actually,
I
he's
mean,
talking
yeah.
about turning Wolverine's claws into force plasma beams.
I mean, look. There's nobody on the planet that wants to see Wolverine force plasma beam claws more than me. Okay, so I think that sounds fucking badass. Why isn't that a thing? We need to like draw that up.
Hey,
Oh,
I have a question
copyright.
about. I have a question about. Well, not anymore. I have a question about lightsabers. A
Okay.
technical question, Kirby.
Dude.
Okay, so they're a forced plasma beam. How do they maintain length and adjust for length scientifically?
That is a good question, which we will cover on the next episode on how lightsabers,
Okay, cool. Thank
as
you.
well as the colors.
Okay.
There is like these fascinating things behind the lightsaber. The colors mean their entire own thing. As well as like the science behind lightsabers. We're gonna try to touch on that as well next episode, as well as some of
Yeah.
the dark side, because there's no dark side lightsaber that really transcends the trilogies like Anakin's.
Yeah. Well, I actually really like Kylo Ren, so I thought it was pretty cool. I also like the way it burned.
Well, in the next episode, we're gonna talk about. You know what? I'll save that for the last.
Yeah.
So Rey repaired the lightsaber using leather straps and force healing techniques to mend the crystal inside. She tried to dispose of it on Act 2, which I have a problem with that name. Because it's very clearly Act 2. And they're like, what should we name this fucking, like planet? And they just like probably looked at the script and they're like, Act 2. Yeah, but let's make it written like Star Wars. ACH or AHCH TAC TO. I just think it's so uncreative. But anyway, Luke stops her from throwing the lightsaber. It ends up in the hands of Ren. After Rey confronts the Emperor, and using Anakin's lightsaber as well as fucking Leia's lightsaber, they managed to defeat Palpatine. Supposedly, but Palpatine has this another force power called nostalgia that keeps bringing him back.
So kind of like Loki.
So the
Force.
ending where
Yeah, like Loki.
yeah, like Loki.
Yeah.
the the ending of Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber is on planet Tatooine. Uh, Leia takes, or not Leia, Rey
Right.
takes Leia's and Anakin's lightsaber to Shimmy's grave on Tatooine and buries it next to his mother, who is arguably the only person in the Star Wars galaxy that Anakin ever truly. And that brings the entire whatever it's fucking called full circle.
Anakin's story full circle.
Yep.
Anakin's lightsabers full circle. Okay. I know we're going to talk about colors and stuff. Can you tell? So Anakin's lightsaber was blue.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's was green, right?
No, it was also blue.
Was it blue? Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a reason behind that too.
Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about that. I have a question about, and this is an open-ended question. Do we think that this is the end of Anakin's lightsaber, or is it coming back?
Fuck no, because
it better not be, but yeah.
Star Wars has such a fucking hard-on for Skywalker for them fucking reasons. If you guys want to know what the best part of the new fucking trilogies is, there's one very small part that redeems the whole fucking thing, and it's just because of that little piece, and that's when the kid is in the stable and he's force brings the broom to him. Okay, there. They could have taken an entirely different route and redeemed that trilogy by saying
the second movie left open so many doors, and then the third movie closed 90% of them. There
Yeah.
was so much plot there, and then they almost erased like entire characters.
You know, I don't hate The Last Jedi because I can't hate The Last Jedi till seeing the next film that should have come.
Yeah,
Because that
right.
could have wrapped it up and made it more Empire, where it's like people respect it for the dark
Yeah.
instead
Well,
it goes into.
I mean,
You guys actually watched the last one?
yes.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
did.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it for free. Well, not free, but I watched it streaming, but I didn't see it in the goddamn theater. The the third one was so like freaking. Okay, how do I explain this? All right, Marvel Studios is so meticulous about continuity. How is LucasArts not? They're both under Disney now. How is it that Marvel Studios can maintain continuity and character arcs and all that through multiple films, but LucasArts can't?
Well, that
We can blame J.J. Abrams.
no, because that makes sense because of what they did. They kept changing the fucking story to max the fan, or to like
and
meet the
they
fans.
They did. They changed the story. They changed writers. They changed directors midway through.
Yeah, and
So
that's what fucked up. It's like we didn't ask for Palpatine back. It's cool to have him back. If you have a reason to have him back, give us a good one.
But
Not just
yeah,
Oscar Isaac being like, I don't know. You know?
yeah.
Anyway,
And follow Finn's storyline more too. Like and Poe's and
all right,
never
all
mind.
right. Yeah, okay. We're gonna get back on track. I'm gonna do this real quick. These are famous lightsabers and where they ended up,
Yeah,
and then
let's
we're
do
gonna
it.
turn it over to Smog for his segment. So, famous lightsabers. Yoda's, his color was yellow or green. It's a Shoto type. He uses it in multiple skirmishes in the Clone Wars and generally fighting Darth Sidious and Count Dooku is what he's known for. He lost it in the Senate building while battling Sidious. After the fall of the Jedi, the Grand Vizier Mas Amedda addressed the citizens of the galaxy about the dangers of Jedi, then subsequently burned a bunch of lightsabers from fallen Jedi. Yoda's was amongst them. The Kyber crystals caused a large explosion of energy. Following that, Yoda never really wanted another lightsaber, but kept one in a box in his hut. After his death, this came into the possession of Luke Skywalker. Obi-Wan's, his color is blue. First lightsaber was destroyed by Darth Maul. The second lightsaber was a rebuild of that design. The third lightsaber was for being a Jedi Master. He lost that on the Death Star in the fight with Vader. In Legends, Vader actually keeps the lightsaber as a trophy. Later recovers it.
Yeah.
Luke's lightsaber color is green. He created it through difficulty between 5 and 6 because I'm pretty sure the Emperor. I'd have to double check this fact, but the Emperor banned the use of kyber crystal. So he had to like go out of his way to find a kyber crystal for his lightsaber. Um, The original trailer and movie posters have Luke wielding a blue lightsaber. It was changed to green to better stand out in the film, both as a prop and a new lightsaber.
Oh, I
After,
did that.
yeah, it's kind of cool when you look at it. But if you find like an original poster with the lightsaber, that's like the original poster.
Didn't they do the same with the name of Return of the Jedi? Wasn't it like Revenge of the Jedi at first or something like that?
Yeah, I mean
And they actually there's posters out there of that title that are worth a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And after his death in the Force during the Battle of Crate, uh, he retrieved his lightsaber and belongings, deposited them in. They retrieved his lightsaber and belongings, deposited them in the island's repository. Mace Windu, his color is purple. Anakin Skywalker chopped off Windu's hand while he was battling Sidious and let the lightsaber fall to the street Force alongside its owner. In the Legends canon, Aduro sold a broken lightsaber who he claimed belonged to Sidious to Senator Sano Soro who displayed it in his office, and it is my firm belief that Mace Windu is not dead because he is a master in the 12 different fucking like fighting forms of lightsabers. He has both mastered the light side and the dark side of the Force. Getting his hand chopped off and pushed out a window would not fucking kill Mace Windu.
I agree.
So I'm waiting for him to pop up in Disney.
Yes.
Okay, that is where the famous lightsaber. Oh, no, that's not it. So his lightsaber is still in like the Street Coruscant, supposedly burned alongside the other. And that's all the fucking lightsaber knowledge I have. And now I'm gonna turn it over to Smog so he can talk about the Schwartz and Spaceball.
Okay, here we go. This is the good stuff.
Oh my god, that feels so much better.
Here's the thing, okay? They had rings instead of these long ass things powered by crystals. They actually used rings, okay, to use the Schwartz to create their lightsabers. Okay?
Where did they have to place them in order to turn them on?
Yeah, what if you had a cock ring?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, okay? It might as well be, because in the Battle of Lone Star, and Dark Helmet, they literally light their rings right here.
Yeah.
Which, in a sense, you know, maybe equates to how big it is. Just saying. Because Dark Helmets was yay big. Lone Stars was up to right? So come on. And
Spock.
technically, yeah, phrasing.
Did you study anything Star Wars related?
Yeah. Baseballs.
Yeah.
Duh. Just saying.
Can I just say something about the Schwartz real quick?
Yeah.
In Yiddish, it means dark hair.
Yeah.
And dark hair. Actually, it's dark hair, dirty, kind of.
Well,
you know,
illegal.
that kind of thing.
Okay, so there's two ways to look at it. Yiddish has a lot of my grandmother used to speak Yiddish to me. So Yiddish has a lot of sort of words that are kind of like idioms or insults that are variations on German or Hebrew words. So Schwartz, meaning dark hair, but also could be interpreted as not necessarily an insult, but a way of referring to something as dark. As in, my grandmother used to use the term ganef, which translated actually just means thief. But in the Yiddish like sort of tradition,
so you're
calling someone like a ganef is like calling someone a motherfucker.
So you're saying that's like dark, dirty, elite.
No.
So
yeah.
So Yogurt is teaching the dark side to Lone Star.
Supposedly.
Teaching him about dark pubic hair, maybe.
Bad theory is, yeah, Yoda or Yogurt taught Lone Star the dark side. Okay? just saying. And
that's why. Hold on. That's why he had an orange lightsaber. So you're saying we were rooting for the bad guy the entire film?
Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
You always root for the bad guy.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's a Mel Brooks film. There's no distinguishing.
Hey, Smart, did you find out about anything about like proto sabers?
A little bit, but you know, let's go back to Spaceballs. I'll get to that in a second.
I want to go too.
Here's the thing. Okay, if you look at it, right, Spaceballs is a part of Star Wars. Okay, because George Lucas actually did sign off on the making of Spaceballs. He gave Mel Brooks his approval to make this movie. And another fun fact, this was not the first Star Wars parody. Just saying. So,
What was the first one? The
also,
Christmas special?
no, it was some English guy over in England made some like $5 film, you know.
Probably the same guy that wrote Lord of the Rings.
Oh no,
Probably.
that's the National Lampoons.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, well, yeah, it wasn't National Lampoons.
All right, we'll table that discussion. We have to move on. What's the first blade about, Pete or Smoggle? What's his proto saber?
This proto saber, okay, was the first prototype of the lightsaber. They actually had this thing about yay big that fit on your belt, and it had a wire go into it, so they could actually have enough power. Back in the day, they didn't have it small. Like, if you remember your first Mac computer, how big was that fucker? Come on. You got to start somewhere, right? So the Proto Sabers, the power packs were about yay big, okay? And they fit on your belt with a wire. They could actually not use a lot of the Jedi techniques like throwing a lightsaber. Try throwing something with the wire attached to it. See what happens then. You'll cut off your leg or other body parts. Definitely don't want to go there. Just saying. So, but yeah,
it's a dangerous weapon when you look at it that way.
Honestly, lightsabers are incredibly dangerous to begin with.
Well, these proto sabers, if you just let it dangle while it's on, it's just kind of swinging there in the breeze, cutting big holes in the floor.
Oh my God.
You don't want that shit happening. Could you imagine that? Just like laying it, hanging it right here. So, but yeah, no, and actually, I forget the name of the Jedi that actually brought it back. And because everything had advanced, he had a power pack that would boost his lightsaber during the battle. It'd only be for a certain amount of time, but he would have the advantage of attack with that.
Of a what?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like a more powerful blade?
Oh, yeah. During a lightsaber battle, this guy was called the Retro Blade, or Retro Saber. So.
Oh, that's kind of dope.
And yeah. Give him a little extra boost, if you know what I mean.
A little
like a blue pill. Yeah, a little blue pill to boost that thing.
Hey, Spidey.
So.
You got anything you want to add to this discussion? What you thinking over there?
I don't really know.
You know,
I'd say my section is more next time because the Ahsoka Tano thing. So.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you tell that story, guys. I think we're gonna be wrapping up here. Next week we got far more interesting facts. This is basically laying the
this is an induction.
Yeah.
Next week is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm looking forward to 2 weeks from now, but the next episode. I'm really looking forward to that.
Honestly, yeah, all the interesting shit is in those, like facts. It's like while researching this, it was kind of cool to follow Anakin's thing, but I kind of realize now it's far too structured. Like next week is going to be more open discussion and more about like the colors and shit and what they mean and how Jedi like build lightsabers. So it's going to be really cool. Stick around because we're going to talk about why Kylo Ren's lightsaber is all fucked up. We're going to talk about why Darth Maul has a double-bladed lightsaber, as well as why Ahsoka Tano's lightsabers are white.
Awesome. Can I just, since we were on the topic of Mel Brooks, can I just tell you how he got me into hacking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was 19. I was working at Warner Brothers in work records in the new media department, And we used to have this media server, Warner Music Group, which was our parent company. And someone had hacked that media server and replaced every single video of every single artist with a clip from Blazing Saddles. And nobody noticed this until I went on the server and I looked at the sizes of the files and saw that they were all exactly the same, but with the names stayed the same, but the sizes were all like 46K or something like that. And I watched one, and it is a scene from Blazing Saddles that I can absolutely not repeat on this podcast. But it is hilarious, and it is probably the best hack I have ever heard of. And that drove me to learn a little bit more about forensics. And I was already into hacking, but I was like, I bet I can make a career out of information security.
Is it where the sheriff rides into town?
No, it's about a Chinese miner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. If they made Blazing Saddles for TV,
Oh my god,
it'd be 5 minutes short.
I know.
Like it'd be like,
But
hey,
you know what?
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, it'd be like cutting down The Sopranos.
Not to say like not okay. I don't want to get into this, but I will just say that Mel Brooks is a master of this at making a movie like Blazing Saddles that has some incredibly offensive stuff in it, but the hero is the black sheriff. And not only is he the hero, he's the only like smart, reasonable person there. So I don't know.
All right.
Me
Listen,
too. That.
We'll do a deep dive on Spaceballs at some point, but I'm sure these people are starting to get tired of listening
Probably
to
not
us.
Blazing Saddles though.
We'll talk about it. But
Okay.
I want to shout out the contributors to the channel. That's Smog has contributed. To Smog. Smog to Smog. Then
What?
his name's like To Smog, but To Smog has. You know what? Whatever. Artrix _ has contributed, as well as Max Murder 99. Please go give a follow to Artrix. Also on I'm putting it up here right now. On our Discord page is where you're gonna find the schedules for all upcoming shows, as well as what the topics are, and that's right here.
Yep.
And on our YouTube page, you can find all the raw and unedited versions of these podcasts, as well as links to the podcast, and that's right here.
Yeah.
We
And
also,
oh, go ahead.
we also dropped a new podcast just yesterday. It's called My Brain is Hanging Upside Down. You can find that available on all podcast formats. You were gonna say something, Max?
I was just gonna plug My Brain is Hanging Upside Down.
Plug it.
We're
It's
doing.
yours.
Yeah, we're doing an episode next weekend. The host lineup is a little up in the air. The day will most likely be Saturday or Friday night. We're going to be doing it on Rancid. I was going to save Rancid for later in my podcasting career, but having done Operation Ivy first, it leads right into Rancid. So we're going to do Rancid. And like I said, well, the lineup is being sorted out right now. Hopefully, Dr. Nick can make it because, well, he's pretty awesome and he knows a lot about Rancid. And you know, I thought the last episode of Dr. Nick and Crook Irish and I came off pretty well.
I think that went really well. And
Yeah.
guys, we got topics. Like for both podcasts, I got thousands of topics. We have special shit that we're gonna be doing. We have special stuff. We're working constantly behind the scenes, bringing good content. What that means is, like, when we look at our shows retroactively, we might be like, hey, this works here and this works not here, you know. But we will grow and get better with each show.
Yeah, I think in a couple of weeks, just on Kirby's topic of having ideas, a couple of weeks we might be moving away from punk rock and doing something on Motorhead. So
That'd be pretty dope.
yeah.
And
Also, the podcasts are organized with, because as you can see with the Star Wars one, we have that section going on. Then you got your music section going on. And it's like, we've got that big plan already out.
Oh yeah.
yeah, we got way too much shit to. Should I give them a little bit of what's coming up?
Yeah, I think you should, and I think maybe just mention what we did over the weekend last Saturday.
Oh, okay. So what's coming up? This is in the future when we kind of get our vibe down and how we're working. But we're gonna do a special on Batman's Rogues Gallery.
Yes.
That's 3 episodes. Each episode picks one villain, and we deep dive that villain. That will be a part 1 with part 2 to follow. When we're already in talks of stuff like that, and we've got ideas coming up in this little brain of ours. We also went out and hunted the Snarly Yow last weekend. I think we came very, very close to touching the paranormal veal. You can find that soon on our YouTube channel. Go over to
Yeah.
Crook Irish Studios and hit follow or subscribe or whatever the fuck it is. On this podcast, hit follow, subscribe, or whatever the fuck it is. I promise you better.
I think. Well, yeah. Twitch, I think, has both. You can follow and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about all I got. Anybody got anything to fucking add?
And I don't know if we would like to do this yet, but if any of uh, followers or people watching the stream have any suggestions for like future podcasts, we can do those.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We will take requests.
Oh, yeah, in our Discord channel, you'll see Gauntlet questions. You can throw topics that you might have an idea on, or questions for like upcoming topics, as well as discussion for the episode on our Discord. And you can find the same thing for Upside Down Brain. We're gonna try to keep the Gauntlet a bit more light. Upside Down Brain will probably be more somber one, but it's great for relaxation.
Yeah, kind of a documentary style. We're just gonna
Yeah.
relay information about music and how it affects us, and and the intention with Upside Down Brain will be to have people who not only will have people who love music, but people who play music. Nick is a very modest guy when it comes to this, but Nick is an extremely talented guitarist, and I am a mildly skillful guitarist, and we're gonna have a guy on who's a great bass player, and we want to have people on who just like music too. So if anyone is interested in that kind of thing, just hit me up.
Yeah, hit that follow. I think I had one other thing. Oh, my podcast, a lot of people want to be on to talk about a lot of things, so we're gonna have a rotating cast of characters. You'll always see at least Max and I. And you will almost always see Spider-Man, Spider Dude down there. But he is a teen, so teens have a life. Um and then you'll see other characters come in and out like Smog, down there at the bottom. I want to give a big
Yeah, I'll always show up. I'll always show up when these lamos give me something I'm interested about. Just saying.
I want to give a big shout out to Smog. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for making the trip from the fucking Lonely Mountain all the way down to wherever the fuck you are now, and deciding to record as a human for some reason.
This time, you promised me lots and lots of gold, so you better pay up.
Yeah, it's actually with the rest of the gold that I promised you last time.
Yeah.
Spider Dude,
Put it on your tab.
thank you for taking a break out of your busy schedule of protecting the neighborhoods and just helping out people in general and not being a douche like Smog.
Yeah. Taking care of Grogu too.
Yeah, taking care of Grogu. Look at this guy. This is
This guy.
you ever seen the fucking you remember those old comics that used to be in dental offices? It's like
No.
the kids ones, and they had like Tweedledee,
Do you mean
Tweedledum.
do you mean highlights?
Gus and Grimm? Was it called?
I don't know. Are you talking about chick tracks? Those
Yes,
Christian
highlights.
ones?
That's it. It's highlights.
Oh, highlights.
Because you
Okay.
remember it was like good and bad kid.
Yeah, vaguely.
Good, bad kid. Be like Spider-Man. Don't be like Smog, guys.
please don't read chick tracks thinking it's highlights.
Get all your advice from Chick Chacks and highlights.
No.
That's
And
my goal.
Smog.
And Smog.
And Smog, yes.
Call Smog on his personal number. No, I'm kidding. Hey guys, we'll be back in a week's time with another episode of My Brain is Hanging Upside Down. In the meantime, go out there and make it a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make everything weird. And hail Satan.
All right.
I gotta stop signing off with that. But...
I'll catch you all on the flip side.